Good day. Hello, CJ, not CW. I didn't see CW yet, but I'm sure he'll be here. And William et al. Um, Today is June 13th, 2025. A very, very important day today. With all that's going on in the world, we need to make a real statement today with, sharing this message of Fatima out there. And with the intentions of stopping any kind of escalation that may be occurring in the world with regards to their plans. So today is the anniversary of the second apparition of the children of Fatima, June 13th, 2025. And it was June 13th, a Wednesday back then in 1917. We're going to say the morning prayers, the good day rising prayers, and then we'll have Mass. And it just worked out that it's kind of the revelation in the message of my Immaculate Heart will triumph. Okay, so there's a lot of confusion. There's not a lot of confusion, but a lot of assumptions by those at the time to call it Mary's Immaculate Heart. But she didn't say that. She said my Immaculate Heart, and she calls herself Our Lady. I am the Lady. So we have to beware of that. It's one of those subtle things, but it's very important. All right, let's begin with the Good Day Rising prayers. Oh, and the point of me bringing that up is that of the songs today that we were going to sing, it just so happened that was the next one in line, was Immaculate Deam. In nomine Dei matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Most Holy Trinity and in Catholic contemplation humbly venerate the Divine Family. Most Holy and Venerable Trinity, one Divine Family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O most Holy Trinity, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum matronam nostrae. O most Holy Trinity, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Most Holy Trinity for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven, and for the souls in purgatory. I also forgot to mention that today is also the anniversary of the apparition, the vision that St. Lucia received in 1929, June 13th, 1929, about, and the vision was the most holy Trinitarian Theophany. O most Holy Trinity, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. And let us beg of the Most Holy Trinity the graces which are necessary to us. O Most Holy Trinity, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Dea Matronam Nostrae, Mother of God, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O Most Holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia today, as the Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany. Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all, because they offend thee, O Most Holy Trinity, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Also, as a reminder, and in case you didn't know, the little bell thing on the YouTube for notifications, if you make sure that it's checked for ringing, then you will receive a notification when I go live. Deum Obiscum et quoque apote, oremus. Fidelium Deum Iesum Christum, omnium conditor et redemptor, animabus famaloramque tuorum, remissionem cunctorum tribue peccatorum, ut indulgentiam, quam semper obteverunt piis supplicationibus consequantur. Qui tegebuit et reinat in una divina familia qui erat est, et erat in aeternum. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, hanc immaculatum hostiam, quam ego indenius famulus tuus offedi tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro in hominibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentiis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed et pro omnibus fidelibus catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi et illis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantia dignitate mirabilita condidisi et mirabilis reformaster da nobis spiritus atque divina mysterium, eis divinitatis esse consortes communitatis nostrae, fieri dinatis es patriceps Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Oferimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum deprecantis clementium, ut in conspecto divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra et otius mundi salute cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito suscipiamur te Deum Iesum Christum, et sic fiat sacrificium nostrum in conspecto tuo hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum Maternam Nostrae Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite blata prosequendo, et a capere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini praeparatum. Suscipe, Sancta Trinitas, Sancta Oblationum, cum tibi eferimus anomonem passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum Matronam Nostrae, et a Papa Peter Sanctorum, et istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut illis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et illi pro nobis intercedere in interim caelis, quorum amore magimus in te per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate ut meam equestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat per Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiadem Iesum Christum, sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudam et gloriam nominis sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostrum totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum ubiscum, quoque pote, sursum corda habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Tege lucere mediasimi matere patere Deum natrum nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, Deum nostrae, supplices rogamus ad petimus. Uti accepta habeas et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificium illibata. In primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodire, adonare et regere vinidis tot obiterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famorum cituorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Katie, Gage, R.M., Neil and Earl Lively, Joe, Robert Dosco Sr. and Jr., Rochelle Dosco, Maria Josephina Mose, Letitia, Mindy, Clarette, Mark Jr., Barbara and Benedict Santa Croce, Mr. Nobody, the Cantu and Duarte families, Luis Antonio Cantu, Michaela McLarnon and family, Sarah and Becky, Jenna and Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Lime River family, the Shorten, Kendrick, Dosco, Nye, Tafour, Began, Wolf, and Kane families, and their intentions. We pray that Mr. Nobody receives the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sedevacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium of exchange with no usury. We pray that courageous men step forward as leaders of this Catholic society to root out the evils and to bring in the monarchy, Catholic monarchy. We ask that all gay, quote-unquote, marriage, all pornography, and the OnlyFans platform be banned. We ask for a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity. We ask that women come to understand that raising of traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic society. We pray and we ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. We ask that all references to anti-Semitism be removed from all law, codes, statutes, books, etc. We ask that the internet be kept free and truthful, with access to Catholic doctrine, authentic Catholic doctrine. We also ask that Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, with this Mass and our rosaries, that you destroy, or that the satanic document of Vatican law, that is the Jewish Talmud, is destroyed. That you destroy Rome and the Vatican, and that we recognize the transfer of the authority of the Catholic Church to be in Portugal. We ask you to bring all members of Freemasonry to the understanding that their God is not the Trinitarian Theophany, and that they come in to become members of, in submission of the Trinitarian Theophany through correct baptism and confession, and that all Freemasonry symbols and buildings are destroyed. We ask you to bring Catholic families back to being Catholic in their origin in their morals, their values, their virtues, that they express it appropriately, that women stop getting cosmetic surgeries, and that men and women stop feeding their money, energy, attention, and time to sports, celebrities, worldly entertainment, worldly vices, etc., and to focus their attention and time to raising Catholic families for the Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, so to save and free the souls of Catholics from the heresies of the Jews. We ask the Most Holy Trinity that all Catholics be given the grace to be accountable, so that we each may have a holy hatred for sensuality, as St. Catherine of Siena encouraged, a repentant shame for the offenses we have committed and continue to commit against thee, and a deep love of thee and of souls, so much so that we desire nothing more than to be of service to thee in every moment of our lives. And we ask Dei matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. With the following rosaries, please force the world to make the Jews the sole focus of their anger, and please free us Catholics from all financial enslavement to these Jews. Please leave the Jews in Israel unprotected by any government or governmental entities. And thank you for answering our prayers. All this we ask in accordance with the Most Holy Trinity's divine will and intention. Et omnium circumstantiam quorum tibi fides cognita est noto devoto pro quibus tibi ferimus. Vel qui tibi offrant hoc sacrificium laudis. Prosis visque omnibus. Pro redemptione animarum suarum, pro spe salutis et egolamitatis suae. Tibique redunt vota sua, aeterno Deum vivo et vero. Communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriosae semper et Deum maternam nostrae. Et Deum Iesum Christum. Et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meditis, praecibusque concedas ut in unibus protectionis tuae munum et exidio per Deum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratem acceptabamque feceri dineris ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fieri dictissimi Filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie, quam pateretur recepit debanum in sanctis ac honorabilis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fregit dique lunis sui dicens accipite, et mandocati ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meo. Simini modo postquam, ceremone est accipiens et hunc preclarum, caricem in sanctus ac honorabilis manus suas et in tibi gratias agens, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Consecrave dedique lumis sui dicens accipite, et vivite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis affondetur in remissionem peccatorum. Aequates cum preficeritis in me mone facietis. Unde et me mures, Deum nos serva tui, sed plebs tua, sancta justum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae, tam beatae passiones, nec non et in fedis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae scensionis offerimus, praeclarae maestati, tuae de tuis donis ac datis, supra quae propitio ac sereno utur respicieri digneris, Supplices teramos Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum ibi hec perferit manus tuum ut quod ex hoc altaris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum corpus et sanguinum sincerimus omni sanctificatione caelestia gratia Dei per amor pedinum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for Celia Salatka, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum crescentibum locum refugere et lucis et pacis ut ondor gesta proclamare pedinum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem hec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et quam ipso et in ipso. Est ibi Deum Mater omnipotente in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum, Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Sanctam tuum in mulieribus, Dea matronam nostrae, Materam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Deum Maternam nostrae. Cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis, da propitius pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae tuae aduiti de peccato, simus semper liberi et omni perturbatione securi. Per eundem Deum nostrum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tegem vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud te, haec mixtio consecratio copris sanguis Deum Iesum Christum fiat, capientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, coprante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam mundum vivificasti. Libera me per sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab omnibus iniquitatibus meis et universis malis. Et facem tui semper inhalare mandatis, et in nunquam separare permittas. Qui cum eodem Deum matronam nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perché teo copris tui Deum Iesum Christum quod ego indinius, sumere praesimo non mihi proveniat in judicium condonationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi adjutum et copris, et adabe delam, percipiendam, qui vivis et regnas cum Deum matronam nostrae, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. In panem calestum accipiem, et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrum non sundinius, ut in disutete meis in tante requabis in paranama mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sundinius, ut in disutete meis in tante requabis in paranama mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sundinius, ut in disutete meis in tante requabis in paranama mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodia et anima mea. quid rotubum Deum Iesum Christum, pro omnibus quae rotubuit mihi, calicem salutaris accipiam in nomine Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudatium vocabo Deum matronam nostrae, et ab inimicis meis salvus ero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Coloris subsumus Deum Iesum Christum pudem et capium et mura et tempore fit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod samsis sanguisquam petavit hediat visceribus meis apraesta, ut in me non remaniat scelum macula quem purat sancta reficerum sacramenta. Deum obiscum, et quoque apote, oremus. Animabus, quesumus Deum Iesum Christum, famalorum famorumque tuorum, oratio proficiat supplicantium, ut eas, et a peccatis omnibus exuas, et tuae redemptionis facias esse particepes, qui tecum vivit et reinat in una divina familia, qui erat est et erat in aeternam. Deum obiscum, et quoque apote, ite mis est. Deum gratia. Socia tibi sancta Trinitamum, sequim suffitutis meae, et praesta ut sacrificim coroculis, tuae majestatis in unus autoritivis et acceptabile mique et omnibus, proquibus irut obdolis iti miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, gratias. O most holy Trinity, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinity, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of God Jesus Christ, who was, is, and ever shall be, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart, and the Immaculate Heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, God Our Lady, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Stay with us, and we will continue with our music and the story of the apparition of June 13th, 1917.
Immaculate Deum, thy praises we sing, for thy love is purest above anything. Ave, Ave, Ave Deum, Ave, Ave, Ave Deum. In heaven the saints all thy glory proclaim. On earth we thy children invoke thy sweet name. Ave, Ave, Ave Deum, Ave, Ave, Ave Deum. We pray thy will be done in all upon earth. Please sanctify Deum, the land of our birth. Ave, Ave, Ave Deum, Ave, Ave, Ave Deum.
This is taken from The Whole Truth About Fatima, which is on the website, chapter 5. Oh, by the way, today is Fasting Friday, so we begin our 24-hour fast for those of you who join us. Or we began it last night, and we continue it. The Immaculate Heart of Deum, of Our Lady, pierced with thorns, Wednesday, June 13th, 1917. 1. The events. The festival at the village. The 13th of June, Feast of St. Anthony, was always a day of great festivities in our parish, Lucy relates. My mother and my sisters, who knew how much I loved the festival, kept saying to me, quote, "We'll see if you'll leave the festival just to go to the Cova de Iria and talk to that lady." Indeed, the feast was one of the most solemn. Was not the saint at the same time national patron of Portugal and patron of the parish? You can see the pressures building already. In Fatima on that day, Mass was sung in honor of the great patron, and there was also a sermon and a procession. Youths and girls, then as now, that was back in 1917, or when this was written, prepared for the festivities which the saint was expected to patronize. The bells rang and alms and food were distributed. Fathers of families drove ox carts decorated with branches of trees, flowers, flags, and bedspreads, carrying wife and children to the festival, where some 500 people would be rewarded with free meals. They passed round the church several times and then stopped in front of the veranda where the priest gave his blessing. What an attraction for the children! But for our three seers, the question did not even arise. It was all decided, since they had promised Our Lady they would go to the Cova de Iria. Only prohibition by their parents could have prevented them, but this order did not come, because the parish priest had counseled them very wisely to leave the children free to do as they wished. Jacinta desired very much that her mother accompany her. "Oh, mother," she kept saying, "come with us tomorrow to see Our Lady." But on the morning of the 13th, when the little child woke up, her older brother told her that their parents had already left and would not be back until evening. Not knowing what to do, T. Marto had found an escape. Not daring to go to the Cova de Iria and to avoid taking part in the festival, he decided to go with his wife to Pedreira to buy some oxen. "When we get back," he told Olympia, "this affair of the children will be finished with. What a business it is, to be sure." In haste, our three shepherds led their flock to the Velinos, for the grass was abundant there, and they could return more quickly to their house in a little more than an hour. "On the day itself, nobody said a single word to me," writes Lucy. "Insofar as I was concerned, they acted as if they were saying, quote, 'Leave her alone, and we'll soon see what she'll do.'" After mature reflection, Maria Rosa had decided that if, in spite of the festival, the children were to go to the Cova de Iria, she would follow them, hide, and see what happened. If nothing extraordinary occurred and anyone attacked them, she would intervene, especially as the parents of the younger two had gone off for the day. True, she risked making a fool of herself, but too bad. "I'll start for the church," she whispered to her eldest daughter, "and you stay here and tell me what happens." This indeed was the wisest and most courageous solution. No sooner had she gotten halfway to the church when she encountered 5 or 6 people from a neighboring hamlet who asked to see the children who had seen Our Lady. Then Maria Rosa lost her nerve. "There are more and more people going to the Cova de Iria," she told herself. "I won't be able to get there without somebody seeing me. Somebody is sure to notice. These people look respectable. Well, we must see, and may God's will be done. I shan't leave here." The fear of being the laughing stock of everybody was her weakness. Dom Jean Nesme justly comments, "So she went off to the village for the festival." Meanwhile, Lucy also went in the direction of Fatima, but it was to lead a group of friends who, with her, made a solemn communion. She succeeded so well that more than a dozen children preferred to follow her rather than remain at the festival. Around 11 o'clock, with Jacinto and Francisco, they arrived at the place of the apparitions. Already several dozen persons were present who had come from neighboring hamlets for the most part, and some of them even from Torres Novas, more than 60 miles away. From the parish, there was hardly anyone except Maria Carreira, a believer from the very beginning, whom we shall hear so much about later on. Father de Marchi, to whom she freely confided, quotes at length her recollections, which are always of the highest interest by their charming simplicity and their great precision. I had always been sick, she relates, and 7 years previous I had been given up on the doctors. They gave me only a short time to live. She, quote unquote, she had barely heard of the apparitions when she became interested in them, went to Aljustrel to interrogate the seers, was impressed with them, and believed the truth of what they had said. She also decided to be present on June 13th at the Cova de Iria. My husband showed me where the place in question was, and he added, "You want to go there? Don't be a fool. Do you think you'll see her?" "I know very well I won't see her," I answered. "But if somebody said that the king were going by, nobody would stay at home. Everybody would go out looking for him. And they say that Our Lady is coming there, and we shall not make any effort to go see her." As I had made my decision, I would not have missed June 13th at the Cova de Iria for anything in the world. On the evening before, I said to my children, "What if we don't go to the festival of St. Anthony tomorrow, but to the Cova de Iria instead?" "What for?" they answered. "No, we'd rather go to the festival." Then I turned to my crippled boy, John. "Do you want to go to the festival or with me?" "With you, mother," he said. So on the following day, before the others started for the festival, I came here with my son, John, who hobbled along on a stick. As we shall see later on, there was nothing in this lady that savored of fanaticism or a perpetual quest to the miraculous. Quite the contrary, a woman of heroic courage and great common sense. It was her profound faith and her love for the most holy lady, which, not without a special grace from God, made her sense almost immediately that there was an authentic supernatural fact, and later on verify it with her own eyes. When Lucy had arrived, Maria Carrera hastened to ask her, quote, "Which is the oak tree from where Our Lady appeared?" "This one," she said, putting her hand on it. It was a holm, Holm, oak, about a meter high, a nice strong sapling. It was very well shaped with regular branches. And then, without any excitement or disturbance, they awaited the hour of the apparition. As it was very hot, the little seers and their companions moved back a little bit to be in the shade. They began to play. Those of us who had come a long way, continues Maria Carrera, began to eat lunch and to offer some to the children, who each accepted an orange, which, however, they didn't eat. I can still see the three of them with the oranges in their hands. Then a girl from Boleros began to read aloud from a book of prayers which she had brought. As I was ill and feeling weak and tired, I asked Lucy if she thought Our Lady would be long in coming. Quote, "She won't be long now," unquote, was her reply, and she watched for the signs of the arrival. We said the rosary meanwhile, and when the girl from Boleros was beginning the litany, Lucy interrupted, saying there would not be time. Then another witness relates, Lucy got up and arranged her shawl, the kerchief covering her head, as well as her other clothes, as if she were getting ready to go into church, and she turned towards the east, awaiting the vision. Suddenly she got up and called out, "Jacinta, Our Lady must be coming. There's the light." There's the lightning, sorry. They all ran to the holm oak, and we behind them. We knelt down on the rocks and stones. Lucy lifted up her hands as if she were praying, and I heard her say, quote, "Your Grace asked me to come here. Please tell me what you want," unquote. There were now a good 50 people around the seers, grouped near the holm oak. Their word alone was responsible for the 3,000 or 4,000 present on July 13th. But now we must let Lucy speak. The account is taken from her 4th memoir, The Apparition, the Revelation of the Immaculate Heart. June 13th, 1917. As soon as Jacinta, Francisco, and I had finished praying the rosary, with a number of other people who were present, we saw once more the flash reflecting the light which was approaching, which we called lightning. The next moment, Our Lady was there on the holm oak, exactly the same as in May. 3 requests of Our Lady. What does your grace want of me? I asked. I wish you to come here on the 13th of next month to pray the rosary each day and to learn how to read. Later, I will tell you what I want. I asked for the cure of a sick person. If he is converted, he will be healed during the year. The hearts of Jesus, the hearts of Deam Matronam Nostrae and Deum Jesum Christum have designs of mercy on you. I would like to ask you to take us to heaven. Yes, I will take Jacinta and Francisco soon, but you are to stay here some time longer. Deum Jesum Christum wishes to make use of you to make me known and loved. He wants to establish in the world devotion to my Immaculate Heart. Unquote. Not unquote, sorry. That's To whoever embraces this devotion, I promise salvation. These souls shall be dear to God, as flowers placed by me to adorn his throne. Am I to stay here alone? I asked sadly. No, my daughter. Do you suffer a great deal? Don't lose heart. I will never forsake you. My Immaculate Heart will be your refuge and the way that will lead you to God. The vision in God. As Our Lady spoke these last words, she opened her hands, and for the second time, she communicated to us the rays of that immense light. We saw ourselves in this light, as it were, immersed in God. Jacinta and Francisco seemed to be in that part of the light which rose towards heaven, and I in that which was poured out on the earth. The great revelation of the Immaculate Heart. In front of the palm of Our Lady's right hand was a heart encircled by thorns which pierced it. We understood that this was the Immaculate Heart of Our Lady, outraged by the sins of humanity and seeking reparation. The little secret of June 13th. You know now, Your Excellency, what we referred to when we said that Our Lady had revealed a secret to us in June. At the time, Our Lady did not tell us to keep it secret, but we felt moved to do so by God. The marvelous signs. Around noon, everyone heard Lucy suddenly cry, "Here's the lightning. Our Lady will arrive." But only the 3 children had seen it. The others saw neither the lightning nor Our Lady. Manuel Goncalves, a young peasant, 30 years old, from the hamlet of Montello, was present. An intelligent man with great common sense, he would be interrogated at length on October 11, 1917, by Canon Formigao. When Lucy speaks to Our Lady, he explained, she speaks loudly. I myself heard her in June because I was near her. Some people say that they heard the sound of the reply. An unusual murmur. Indeed, Maria Carrera and other witnesses relate that between the words of Lucy, they heard something like that of a murmur of a very fine but unintelligible voice. Let us pay attention to the account of our peasant, Maria Carrera, who better than anyone else was able to observe and relate with precision what she had seen and heard. Then, after Lucy had begun to speak to Our Lady, we began to hear something like the sound of a very faint voice, but we could not understand what it was saying. It was like the buzzing of a bee. Unquote. On July 13th, T. Marto also declared that he had perceived this slight noise, which he was not able to describe very well. During the vision, another witness notes, the branches of the tree were bent down all around it, as though the weight of Our Lady were really resting on it. However, it was especially at the end of the apparition that the most astonishing signs took place, as if Our Lady in her goodness had willed to give these good people who had come to see her some reflections of the apparition, as a certain pledge of her invisible presence in the midst of them. It sounded somewhat like a rocket. When Our Lady left the tree, Maria Carrera relates, it sounded somewhat like a rocket, a long way off as it goes up. Lucy got up very quickly and with her arm outstretched cried, "Look, there she goes, there she goes." The branches leaned toward the east. I noticed an astonishing fact, another witness relates. We were in the month of June, and the tree had all its boughs covered with little sprouts. Now at the end of the apparition, when Lucy announced that Our Lady was leaving in the direction of the east, all of the branches of the tree picked up and leaned in the same direction, as if Our Lady, as she left, had let her dress rest upon the boughs. A little cloud went up towards the east. As for Maria Carrera, as she continues her account, she describes another phenomenon, as gracious as it is astonishing, which she noticed the moment Lucy declared, "Look, there she goes. There she goes." It was a little cloud which went up gently in the direction of the east until it finally disappeared completely. Certain people said, "I still see it. There it is," until finally nobody claimed to see it. The little children remained silent, their eyes fixed on the same point in the sky, until finally Lucy declared, "There now, we can't see her anymore. She has gone back into heaven. The doors are shut." I'm going to conclude for that today. That gives you an idea of what they experienced and what we are thankful for. Let us remember today, as so many events seem to be coming to a head today, that we can stop what they're planning with our prayers. Please say extra rosaries today for peace in the world and for thy most holy Trinity's will to be done. In nomine Dei, Matronum Nostra, Deum Iesum Christum, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. O my Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, please come into my heart by thy power. O Deum, draw me to thyself and grant me charity with filial fear. Keep me, O ineffable love, from every evil thought. Warm and kindle me with thy sweetest love, and every suffering will seem light to me. O my Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, please help me in all thoughts, words, and actions. O my Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I love thee. My Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I love thee. In nomine Dei, Matronum Nostra, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for your emails. Please pray for those who are finding us. It's a lot to grasp, and they are spinning. They're so confused, but they know that they're drawn here. Truth is a very powerful attraction. It's magnetic, and the thing that we have to do is not to fear that, but to move slowly in that direction with good use of discernment. You say your rosary, okay? Your intention is very, very important. One last thing. I need to change the mass tomorrow morning to 7:30 so that I may catch the ferry that we are looking to catch, take a ride on. So tomorrow morning's mass will be at 7:30, the regular time, and then Sunday will be in the evening sometime when I get back. I'm just going to go live when I get back. If I have enough time to set it up, like maybe half an hour and ahead, I will. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be getting back. Please pray for our safe travels. We understand that there are evils out there, especially in the States, who are trying to activate some sort of plan, and we want to We want to stop that. So that's our goal with our prayers today, is to keep everybody at peace, and that those who are traveling have nothing to do with the plans that they're planning, that they are safe as well. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Please go and sanctify all those you meet. Thank you very much, and love you all.